Hello there, friend, and hello, dear Blackmagic design. Well, we need to talk about something. You see, yesterday was a day that I thought was going to be a good day, but in fact, it was a disaster. Blackmagic has released a new pocket cinema camera with a full-frame sensor. Yesterday is also the day our hopes for a more convenient shape form factor have been absolutely crushed. Blackmagic announcements are like going on a blind date. You never know what to expect, and if she's going to actually be there, you're just waiting on your own, contemplating life choices. I am so frustrated, I don't even know where to begin. I would describe the whole presentation as a solid meh, you know? They released a new micro cinema camera, a new studio camera, a new app, yada 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 yada. But we came for the good stuff, thinking we can finally justify our irrational gear addiction and going heads first into a new camera system we can barely afford with our filmmaking paychecks. Instead, we got something that is as questionable as Logan Paul's career. Let's talk about the things we didn't get. A box form. No. The only box form we got was the micro cinema camera, but they decided to stick to the same bulky ass, unflyable shape with the 6K. It's not, is it called 6K? I think it is. It's called 6K full frame, whatever. But it's not like we've been bitching about it since first Pocket 4K. I feel like constructive criticism with Blackmagic design is like talking to your kid. You're like, excuse me, Could I have some suggestions? Could you change up some things, like a couple of things, like minor things, details? And Blackmagic is just like, la 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 la, I'm not listening to you. Okay, but we still have the ND filter, right? Wrong. We got rid of that sucker and replaced it with an OLPF. OLPF, sorry. An optical low pass filter. But why? Hey Blackmagic, come here, come closer. Even closer. I'll let you in on a little secret. You know that lack of optical low pass filter is a 1 max 2 click fix in post. But I can't add an ND filter in post now, can I, huh? Moving on. What about autofocus? You know, like autofocus. The capability to automatically focus on a subject? Never mind. What about ProRes? It wouldn't make sense to remove that, and you're right, it wouldn't. Did they still remove it? Yep. So now you absolutely need to run it through an NLE or an encoder just to send some footage off to your client. Well, that seems mildly annoying, so I guess I'll just take my SD card and plug it into, but no. No SD card, not for you, my friend. Not for you, my friend. Well, what do you have instead, Blackmagic? CF. Express. And how many? 1. What about SDI? No. A bigger battery? No. I know. Better slow motion with no crop? No. Okay, this is getting a bit depressing. Why don't you just tell me the things we did get? We have a full frame sensor. No one was asking for full frame. I don't get it. I mean, it's nice to have it, surely. The open gate option paired with some anamorphics can achieve some nice imagery, but not if I have to sacrifice the ND filter. And I can't tell you how much I hate variable NDs. And I have so many different sized lenses that no, a matte box is not an option. If anything, it makes it slightly worse because now I can't use my Sigma 18 to 35 because it's an APS-C lens. I would have to crop in or enjoy the natural vignetting. But yeah, you need a full frame lens. What do you want me to say? Next, we have the L mount. And I can't speak for everyone, but I frankly don't care. Mounts are so irrelevant for me as long as I can adapt all my glass I have lying around, which most of them are EF. I don't care. Like, autofocus is not a thing in your camera, so don't need to worry about that. And besides that, most adapters have decent control over aperture, so in my opinion, it just adds to the cost. And like I already mentioned, we got the optical low pass filter, which could have just been a quick fix in DaVinci, but since you can't fit both ND and optical low pass filter in without having the Pocket immediately compete with the Ursa 12K, we're stuck with the less desirable filter. And that's about it. That was probably the most disappointing presentation I witnessed in my entire life. Right up there with Logan Paul's crypto scam. I'm starting to think they got off track and don't really know who to compete with, other than their own cameras. Well, if you look at the 12K, it has a smaller sensor, therefore they have smaller pixels, and which automatically means noisier low-light footage. But it's the same price as the Sony FX6, which has all the bells and whistles, and in the long run is the superior camera. Except for the menu. You need a master's degree to move around comfortably around the FX6. If they wanted to position themselves somewhere between the Ursa and the Pocket 6K Pro, and also have it compete against the FX3 and the A7S III, the only thing that would have made sense was to make the 6K Pro boxier and lighter, so we can fly it on a gimbal or rig it out in an elegant fashion. Now we have this. We have this. We have to walk around like this. Why? Why is this a thing in 2023? Could have been so easy. Just make it smaller. But no. You know, we could have gotten over the fact that we have no autofocus, at least with the option to put a LiDAR on it, and you know, because of the reduced weight. For 6K Pro owners, upgrading doesn't make any sense since it feels more like a downgrade. And for people that were potentially interested in changing systems, are now reassured that sticking to their Sony or their Panasonic is probably the better choice. Blackmagic failed on both ends. They could have easily used their momentum to become the cinema camera manufacturer, but instead are following some strange philosophy that cannot keep up to today's demands. And I'm sorry, but having just a pretty image is not enough anymore. I'm even considering rigging out the micro cinema camera. Anyway, that's it. What do you guys think?